You're broke, you chose to be broke. If you're fat, you chose to be fat. Nothing toxic about masculinity. Masculinity, I think, is a little bit undervalued. Truth will set you free. Truth is like poetry. Not everybody likes it. AI is a scam. You use it as a tool, but it's not end all be all. People think it's gospel. I don't care what ChatGPT says. You might as well say the internet says it, because that's where it's getting the information from. It's not actual intelligence. It's artificial intelligence. Who made AI? Actual intelligence made AI.
Brad Lea,
one of the great young entrepreneurs in the United States.
top 25 entrepreneur podcast in the world, father of 7, a husband, a philanthropist, an investor, an author, and a true leader.
You're running multiple 8-figure companies. You're working probably 80 hours a week. You don't get stressed ever.
Stress is a condition that people are afflicted with because of their anxiety. I don't get stressed. I was probably 3 drinks in. We were heading to another bar, and I got in the car, and a cop pulled behind me, and my gut sank. And I'm thinking, ooh.
Okay, guys, we got Brad Lea back in studio. It's been about a year and a half. It's good to see you again, man. You're playing poker in a couple days too.
Yes, I am.
I didn't know you
down.
Yeah, I didn't know you had that side to you.
Yes, I do. There's a little dark side.
Yeah.
You
hitting the casinos late night behind everyone's back?
Negative. No, I don't really gamble much. But when they invited me, I'm like, I thought you had to be a celebrity. They're like, well, you are one. I'm like, how am I a celebrity? I've always pictured celebrities as movie stars, television stars, rock stars, athletes. Like, social media, I guess, is the new TV. So they invited me, and I'm like, dude, I'll happy to play. Not only that, it's like, it's fun.
Yep.
Poker's fun, especially when you're, not required to do anything other than show up and play.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a blast.
Yeah, the vine's covered. You're right, though. Celebrity has changed. Now celebrities are streamers, podcasters, influencers. They're not actors and artists anymore.
Yeah.
It's like more inclusive. Well, they still are, but
yeah.
Now I feel like podcasters get more views than almost any movie star you can think of.
Yeah. Well, when I started my podcast, everyone said, dude, everyone's got a podcast. Why would you do it? And I did it anyway. And good thing I did.
Same with me. I started late. I started 2 years ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say you started after me.
Way later than most people.
But you hustled, dude. You worked. You got everybody and their dog in here. You snatched Andrew Tate from me.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
He was supposed to come on?
He was supposed to come on. He was coming out here, and he said, hey, I have to do this other one. I might not have time. I'll get you next time.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, okay, whatever.
My bad.
And then I see him on your show. I'm like, dude, I got up for Sean Kelly. God damn.
My bad. I ran into him at Power Slap.
Yeah.
And got him on. I mean, you got to start going to those events.
I love Power
Little
Slap.
slapperoo.
Yeah.
Would you ever do that stuff?
Do it? No.
Yeah.
No.
$1 million?
No.
$10 million?
No.
$100 million?
100 million? Yeah, I'd probably take a slap for 100 mil.
All right. Everyone's got a price, right?
Not 10, though.
I would do it for 10.
I got 10.
I don't got 10. I would do it for 10.
I do not want to worry about getting my dome knocked in. Like, dude, those guys are some power slappers.
It's scary, some of those fights, seeing them in person. They're knocked out for minutes.
Yeah, and again, I mean, dude, listen, I'd rather get punched than slapped.
Yeah. You look like you can hold your own and fight right now.
Unless they're MMA specialists, unless they're like, if they're old-fashioned fighters, I do okay. But if they know MMA or jiu-jitsu, I'd be toast. That's why I started taking a little jiu-jitsu. I'm starting to roll a little bit.
Yeah?
Yeah, you got to be able to at least hold your own,
Yeah.
You still won't if you're up against someone like that, though.
I feel that. I think it's important to learn a little combat as a man, right? A little combat action.
You have to.
I think so.
Too many betas nowadays.
A lot of those.
There's a million of them, and it's terrible, dude.
People reacting emotionally, right?
Well, they're just raised improperly, guys that won't pay the bill, for example. You take a girl out, pay the fucking bill. You know what I mean?
What if the date goes bad?
You pay the bill and drop her off. Thank her for her time.
Wow, and you drop her off.
Well, of course.
Wow. That's a real man right there.
It's a gentle man. Like, listen, I mean, you got to be kind, Sean. You got to be a kind individual. There's too many people out there thinking that everyone's out to get something. That's not always true. There's a lot of good people, I think. But, somehow, somewhere along the way, old fashioned got thrown out, and this new mentality, some people might call it woke, came around. And it's like, split the bill, split the bill. You don't split the bill. If you ask a girl out, you pay the bill. If a girl asks me out and I want her to go, I'm still paying the bill. I'm going to hold the door. Just old fashioned, I guess is what it's called. Yeah. But, I'm 100 years old. So that's how I was raised. I'm just hoping that it comes back around. You've heard, good times, make weak men make, or no, something like that. Like hard times make strong men make good times make weak men make hard times. Yeah. So we're in that cycle, and it's just a cycle that continues. So I think, eventually we'll be out of it. That's why you see bell bottoms coming back. You see bell bottoms coming back.
Yeah, they are coming back.
Double-breasted suits.
They're here.
Yeah. Again, I'm not going back. I've already done that.
No, I used to wear the skinny jeans. I used to wear weird shit. I'm good on that.
Yeah. So if you ask me, there's a lot of beta males that I think that they're just unaware that, there's common courtesy, there's basic etiquette, and then there's masculinity. And there's nothing toxic about masculinity. The word toxic masculinity is when someone's being arrogant, That's not masculinity. Masculinity, I think, is a little bit undervalued.
Really?
Well, sure. What happens when you need some help? Who you calling?
Calling a guy.
9 times out of 10,
I'm calling a guy.
Dude, if there's 5 guys outside ready to kick your ass, who you calling? Kylie? Kayla? What's her name?
Kyla.
You calling Kyla, or you calling a couple dudes?
I'm calling dudes. Yeah, if I need shit fixed around the house, I'm calling a guy for the most part.
Yeah. Well, hey, I'm old fashioned, I guess.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, you said to be kind, but there's a difference with kind and nice, right?
Yeah. Well, if you look up the original definition of the word nice, it actually means stupid.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You don't want to be nice.
Nice guys finish last, I say. I mean, I used to be nice and it never got me anywhere.
Really?
Yeah. I got no girls growing up. I was nice to guys. They didn't give a shit. I mean, now I'm a little more closed off when it comes to that.
Ruthless?
Some would say I'm ruthless.
You getting the ladies now?
I've been with the same girl for 8 years. I'm getting married in 2 months.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. So I guess. But I've been with her my whole life, so not really. I got one lady.
Did it change you?
In what way?
Like being not nice?
I'm still... She's going to hate this. I mean, I stand my ground. I have boundaries. You know what I mean? When I'm working, don't interrupt me. I'm in the zone. I'm locked in. You got to set some boundaries.
There has to be boundaries.
There has to be. You're just walking in here every 20 minutes. I'm going to get distracted and not be focused.
Yeah.
Is
this all you do?
This is my main thing, yeah. It's my main thing.
Man, you're working.
It's a side hobby for you, but for me, it's the main thing.
Yeah, the other day I was approached to be on Cameo. And when I say the other day, it could have been 10 years ago.
The Tri-Light from Therasage is no joke. Medical grade red and near infrared light with 3 frequencies per light, deep healing, real results, and totally portable. It's legit. Photo biomodulation tech in a flexible on-body panel. This is the Tri-Light from Therasage, and it's next level red light therapy. It's got 118 high-powered polychromatic lights, each delivering 3 healing frequencies, red and near infrared, from 580 to 980 nanometers. It's sleek, portable, and honestly, I don't go anywhere without it.
And so I'm looking on Cameo, and I'm looking at all the celebrities, quote unquote celebrities, and there's real celebrities on there. And I'm thinking, because someone said, well, what are you? And I said, I don't know. And I'm thinking, what did they call me? A businessman or, an entrepreneur? Like, how am I listed? And I went and looked, and I was a podcaster. So
how did you take that?
Well, I'm not a podcaster, although I podcast, so I guess I am one.
You do have one of the top business podcasts in the world.
It's also like I don't consider myself an influencer.
I don't like that word either.
But I'm influential, I guess. So social media influencer. I don't really think so. I'm just on social media. But again, I think it's just conflicting by the way they say it.
Yeah.
Because yes, I guess I do have some influence, and yes, I am on social media. So if that's what I'm called, I guess I'll take it. But it's weird to say, oh, he's a podcaster. But to your point, it's seen a lot, and so that celebritizes you.
Yeah.
And then people put you in that box. But I say I'm a businessman. I mean, I have businesses, bro.
Yeah.
Brick and mortar, actual businesses that have nothing to do with social media. So like if social media shut off, my businesses would feel it because the social media drives people to them. It's free advertising, which is why I think everyone should build a brand, personal brand. If you don't have a personal brand, especially with the advent of AI, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah. AI is going to wipe out a lot of jobs, right?
Well, you won't know who to trust. And a personal brand is building trust. So that's a valuable commodity, and it's going to get even more valuable because no one's going to know what's real and what's not real.
Yeah. Oh, it's getting valuable. I got an offer on the pod this week. I turned it down, but it was hard.
I got an offer on the pod, and it wasn't difficult to turn it down.
Would you ever sell it?
Yeah, I mean, if
For the right
number was
price.
right?
Yeah.
But it's the podcast is lucrative.
It's fair. Yeah, the cash flow is nuts.
Yeah, and it's not difficult.
I'll be honest, I do a lot of research on my guests, so I guess you could consider it a full-time job. But yeah, I spend like 60 hours a week.
What research have you done on me?
A lot. I got a whole list of stuff.
Well, let's get into it.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear the research. I should probably start doing research on my guests.
So you don't do any research on your guests?
No, because I want to discover on the podcast.
Wow. And they don't get disrespected? They don't feel that way?
Doesn't seem so.
Wow. Well done. I think you're just good at talking, so you could get by. I don't think most people can pull that off, to be honest. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm just naturally curious and interested in people. So when someone's on my podcast, I got to ask questions and have a conversation. I don't have an interview. Like if say, hey, Sean Kelly's coming. Okay, cool. When's he get here? 2:00. You walk in. Hey, what's up? So, and now we're just having a conversation that happens to be being filmed. And when it's done, hopefully I know more about you. Hopefully we didn't disagree, because again, people will know that if I disagree, I'll say it.
Yeah.
And, again, sometimes that puts people in an awkward situation. But at the end of the day, Sean, in my opinion, truth will set you free. And truth is like poetry. Not everybody likes it.
I like it, but most people don't, I'd argue.
Yeah, truth, man. Sometimes it's hard to hear the truth, especially when you're on the, receiving end of it.
Yeah.
But I prefer the truth, and I think the truth is always the best. You don't have to remember what you said. And then add kindness into that, truth and kindness. I literally believe that people should be more kind to one another. There's always people judging and gossiping and, creating drama when there doesn't need to be any. But ultimately, I think the true power within us all that most people do not realize is a power, because it's so innate. It's so obvious. It's very often undetected. And that's the power to choose. Free will.
You believe in free will?
Don't you?
To some extent.
What do you mean? Dude, who makes your choices?
Me.
That's the free will.
But you don't believe in destiny?
Destiny?
Yeah.
No.
Not at all.
Well, I mean, maybe. But again, destiny might be some magical thing that happens, but I don't believe that no matter what happens, your plan's already figured out. Otherwise, I'd be in jail. I'd be a blue-collar worker, probably working in the forest of Oregon, coming home to my dog and my wife and some kids,
What would you be in jail for?
Crime.
Elaborate on that.
Well, I was, when you're not making a lot of money, people tend to think about how to make money, whether it's legal or illegal.
Okay.
And when you're, from a small town that money's not really abundant, most people start to think about, how do I get some of that? And ethics come into play. when I was younger, I wasn't as ethical as I am today.
Yeah.
I think I'm one of the most ethical people walking.
Really?
100%.
Wow.
I think I'm as close to angelic as you can get.
Quite a statement right there.
Yes, sir.
What makes you feel so strongly about that?
Well, because it's a choice. Ethics is a choice. Just like discipline. You think discipline is a personality trait? You think it's a character trait?
Discipline?
Yeah.
I think you can learn it.
You choose it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't disciplined growing up, but now I am.
Because you didn't choose to be.
Yeah. I was rebellious.
Discipline is a choice. I would debate that with anyone. Discipline is a choice. When you say, oh, I don't have discipline. Well, again, it's not something that you have or don't have. It's something that you choose or don't choose.
Yeah, that's interesting. I know victim mindset's like a big thing. I'm not a fan of that. I used to have that, but there's a lot you can control in life, I'd say, no matter how you start.
Well, you can 1,000% control your choices.
Yeah.
And that's called free will. And I think it was a gift from the man. And if more people understood its power, I think we'd have a much better world. A lot of people would be more successful. The choice is the power. Give you an example. If I just said something rude and walked out of here, someone comes in and you're pissed off. You had it all set up and I just pissed on it and walked out. You might be upset and someone says, what's wrong? And you would say, what?
Nothing.
Most people would say, not you.
Nothing. Nothing's wrong.
You'd say nothing's wrong?
What do you mean? Like the guy walked out, I guess?
Yeah, most people would blame what happened.
Oh, yeah.
He just came in here and shit on everyone and left. I'm pissed. Well, if you think about it, who decided to be pissed about it? You did.
Me, yeah.
So I can't make you mad. Only you can make you mad.
Wow. You just reshifted my mindset.
Yeah, so when I wake up in the morning, it's like I can be fearful, I can be joyful, I can be anything I want to be. And really, that's the power of choice that most people fail to realize how powerful it actually is. Right. So when I wake up in the morning, I realize one thing. Number one, your frequency is what you frequently see. So if you're constantly focused on the problems, you're going to have more problems. If you're constantly focused on solutions, you're going to find more solutions. It's all proven scientifically and otherwise that you attract what you put out. So if I'm positive, I will attract more positive.
Yeah, I agree.
More positive people, more positive opportunities, etc. Because I think like opportunities are everywhere. Would you agree?
Yeah.
They're everywhere. Money is not hard to find. Go tell that to somebody with the wrong mindset. They'll be like, no, dude, you're just saying that because you're this and you're that. No, I'm choosing to look at it that way. Mm-hmm. I'm in the same world they're in, aren't I?
Yep.
Me and you are in the same room right now. You could be happy we're in this room, and I could be bummed out we're in this room. Mm-hmm. How can two people be in the same situation, one's happy and one's pissed? Well, it's personal perspective. It's a choice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some people say, if I don't have any money, I'm unhappy. Well, you could choose to be happy with no money. It is possible.
You think so?
100%.
Be happy with no money.
At
an adult age?
What if I busted in your room? You thought I was going to kill you. I had a shotgun to your head. I'm going to pull the trigger because I'm a stone cold killer. And I said to you, Sean, I'm pulling the trigger because you don't have any money, brother. You don't need to live anymore. You have zero. You're broke. And you're begging to stay alive. And then I say, okay, fine. I'll let you live. And I leave. You're relieved. You're happy. You still have no money. Why all of a sudden you happy? Well, because you shifted your perspective from freaking, dude, I was bitching about no money. Now I'm thankful I'm alive. That's just a choice.
Yeah.
So literally the power of choice, which is the power of free will, which is everyone's gift. If you learn to control that and you start to realize, man, that is a powerful gift. Somebody can come up, make you mad. No, they cannot. You can't make me mad. I can only make myself mad.
Yeah.
I'm the one that decides whether I get mad or not, whether I'm offended or not, whether I'm pissed or happy, whether I'm fearful or joyful, right?
Mm-hmm. So would you say you have control over your emotions, that being said?
you don't always have control over your emotions, although I believe that, stoicism and it's good to have control over your emotions, but emotions you can't stop. I use emotions as triggers. Other people use emotion to make the decision. So Sean came in, he pissed me off, so I got mad.
Right.
No, you got mad because you chose to. You chose to be pissed. Only you can choose that, and you chose that. But there's still going to be emotions. Like sometimes I'll catch myself getting pissed, and then I ask myself, do I want to be pissed? No, I don't want to be pissed. What do I want to be pissed about?
Right.
So a lot of times the emotions I just let serve as triggers.
Yeah.
Triggers you can't stop. Just like I can't stop you from being a dick, but I can stop me from being pissed off about it.
Yeah. I play a lot of basketball, and it gets to the point where there's fights, and that was never me, man. It never got to that point for me, People's emotions are controlling their actions.
That's right.
That's
right. You just hit it on the head. Now, if more people understood that, people, pay attention, okay? Because everyone's got the ability to choose. No one has, forced choices. Choices are made in here. I can't get in there.
Yeah.
The government's been trying to control our minds for years. They just can't seem to get a hold of them. If they could, don't you think they would?
I think they can.
They tried.
Some people. Not everyone, but
I think they've tried, like the MK Ultra and all the.
But don't you think they're planting certain narratives on social media and people are scrolling and digesting it?
Yes.
That's a form of mind control, right?
No.
Like programming thoughts and beliefs into people?
That's a form of trying to control your mind. I don't think they can. Only you can.
I guess it depends what you mean by mind control. I think thoughts are being influenced by.
That's influence.
Yeah.
But again, can I influence you to become gay?
Yes.
I can?
Yeah, definitely. Look at how many gay
I
people.
I do have that effect on people. But no, what I'm saying is like only the individual can decide. Like, for example, I said one time on a stage, sir, who makes your decisions? And he said, my wife. Everyone laughs. He's deciding to let her make the decisions. At the end of the day, we all make our own damn choices. That's the bottom line. And the choices we make determine the road we take.
Right.
So if you're broke, you chose to be broke. If you're fat, you chose to be fat. Now, it sounds harsh. No, I have a medical condition. Well, again, I'm not talking about every last possible, example in the world is blanketed with this statement. But most people that are not in shape, they're choosing not to be.
Yeah.
When I was fatter, I chose to be fatter. It wasn't, well, they're putting shit in our food. Eat different food. Well, I don't have time for the gym. You're not prioritizing the gym. Like, dude, at the end of the day, if someone gets a hold of their ability to make choices and they make good choices, their life will improve, period.
Yeah.
So it's the fact that most people are unaware that the power is not some magical Marvel comic freaking beam of light that shoots out and all of a sudden you're a superhero. But it is that powerful.
Yeah.
You just harness your ability to choose and you become aware that, man, the choice is the key. So when I wake up, I choose to be grateful. I don't need, a unicorn to fly up and have glitter shoot out of its ass for it to be a good day.
Yeah.
It's a good day for me, period. The question is how good will it get? It's a good day when I open my eyes and realize I get another one, right?
Yeah.
That's a choice. I could choose to be upset. I could choose to be pissed. People say, well, nothing's going wrong for you. Not in my mind. Why? Well, because, dude, I choose to look at things differently. I see risk as opportunity. Most people see risk and they run. They avoid it. They're trained. We're programmed when we're little to be cautious and careful, and risk becomes scary.
Right.
To me, I'm not talking about calculated risk. Obviously, you want to be calculated and you want to factor things in and use history to help make you a little smarter, to make your choices a little wiser. But at the end of the day, it's a choice. So in the simplest form, where's the power? The power's in the choice. And most people are not making good choices.
I would say a majority, right?
And I think it's also based on their identity, their self-image. That you're never going to outperform your own self-image.
Did you have identity issues when you were growing up?
I think so.
I had a lot of them.
I think we all did. You know, we're all programmed in our societies, in our families. We're all programmed, you know, but I had to unlearn and then relearn.
Yeah.
You know, and then I started to get a little more confident, and then I started to realize, like, wow, it's not their fault, and you know, like the president's fault. It's not the president's fault. It's not your boss's fault. It's not your girl's fault. It's not your dog's fault. It's your fault. And so what are you doing? You're removing victim mentality.
Right.
You see a lot on social media now, people asking ChatGPT, if you were the devil, what would you do? Well, I did that like 2 years ago. The shit went really viral, by the way. And I asked it, if you were the devil, what would you do to stop me from succeeding? And it listed out 10 things, and I could identify with all 10 of them. You know, first one was I'd fill your mind with doubt and fear. And it's not like, you know, you hear this evil voice. We've all heard in our head that voice. Well, how do we know that's us talking? Who's talking? That's the narrative. That's the story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I started to realize, like, man, he'd fill my head with doubt and fear. Okay, he'd surround me with negative people and influences. He would, you know, glamorize drinking and partying and the shit that wastes time and, you know, doesn't do me any favors. You know, he would erode my confidence. He'd whisper things like, "You're not good enough. You didn't graduate high school. You shouldn't be here." You know, and all of the things you start to do, or he would do, you start to realize, like, wait a minute, man, that is what I've experienced. So how do you do the opposite? It's not rocket science.
Yeah.
If he'd do these things to destroy your ability to succeed, do the opposite of those things, and more than likely you will succeed. And I think anyone can.
I agree.
Don't you?
I agree, yeah. There's a really good book Dave Meltzer told me to read, Outwitting the Devil.
Yeah.
And I'm not even Christian, but I just thought that book was really good.
Yeah.
I learned a lot. Sounds like what you're saying.
I've read it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a solid book, right?
Outwitting the Devil.
Yeah. Was that Dale Carnegie?
No.
Who was it? One of the older
Napoleon
ones.
Hill.
Yeah, Napoleon Hill. He's got some bangers. Man, shout out to him. He was way ahead of his time.
Well, most people don't realize that Napoleon Hill based his first book off of Wallace D. Wattles' Science of Getting Rich.
Really?
It was before Think and Grow Rich.
Wow. I did not know that. Yeah, I know you're big on the Christianity stuff, right? I've seen you talk about it with Pineda.
I wouldn't say big on it.
It's a big role in your life, though.
Well, I believe that we have a creator, and I believe that his name wasn't Jesus. It was Yahshua. But I do believe that whole thing. Yes, I do.
Really? So your whole life, or was that sort of later on in life?
Well, I mean, in the beginning, I kind of said I believed, but I didn't really believe. I was just a kid being influenced.
Yeah.
But when you start looking and paying attention, there's no other answer.
Really? No other answer?
Well, what other could there be?
I mean,
evolution?
There's a lot of religions.
Well, again, I think there's truth in all religions. I just think they're fragmented with the truth, meaning there's truth in, you know, Muslim or
Hinduism,
no,
Islam.
Islam. Yeah, which is Muslim. But at the end of the day, all the religions, I think there is shreds of truth in all of them. But I think at the end of the day, there's a creator. Now, do I believe everything that's written in the Bible? No.
Really?
Man wrote the Bible. And not only that, there's omissions and errors all over it. Not all over it, but there's a lot of errors and omissions. And you go back through and you start comparing and comparing and comparing, and you start to realize there's some inconsistencies. There's some, hey, wait a minute, like where's the book of Enoch? What happened to that? You know, then there's these scholars. I forget the guy's name.
Wes
something. Yeah, Wes.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'd love to have him on my podcast.
You should. I had his Billy Carson on mine.
Yeah, well, I'd like to ask these guys questions because, you know, they've went and studied deeper than I have.
Yep.
But what I've studied, I've come to some questions as to why, and no one can ever answer them.
Why? What?
Well, just certain whys.
Okay.
You know, like, why this? And they can't answer it.
Huh.
Like, why is his name Jesus? And they say, well, that's the way it's translated. No, that's not true.
Yeah.
His name was Yahshua, which is translated to Joshua. They changed his name from Yahshua to Jesus, which was really, when they changed it, it was Iesus, because there was no J. So they changed his name, very similar to, like, let's say you get a guy from China, he comes over here and nobody can pronounce the name.
No.
So we're just going to call you Bob. That's what they did to him, to Jesus, to Yahshua. They couldn't pronounce his name in the language they were trying to, translate it to. So they do what's called a transliteration. And a transliteration is ultimately to try and get you as close to the name as possible with your, dialect, your language. And there wasn't any in that language, so they claim they transliterated to Iesus. Well, that's the same as saying I can't say dang dong, so I just say Bob.
Yeah.
I'm going to call you Bob. And then, 20 years later, dude, people call you Bob when your name's not Bob. So I don't know is my final answer.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't think anyone knows. But when you start to look and you start to investigate, you realize, organized religion isn't the truth.
Hell no.
The fact that there's a creator is the truth. Like, dude, we did not evolve. We did not come from an amoeba that eventually grew some lungs and then over millions of years grew some feet, and then one became a giraffe and one became a lion and one became a ant and then one became a bee. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Not possible.
I like to form opinions because I don't do all the research that Wes Huff does, but I'll invite these mega church pastors on my show, and then I'll invite people exposing them the next week. And then that's how I'll sort of form my own opinions that I have on both sides.
Why don't you bring them all together?
Dude, these pastors will not debate. I've tried to set it up.
That's another
They
why.
back out.
That's another why I have.
Yeah,
why
they
wouldn't
back
you?
out.
If you know for a fact, why wouldn't you debate? I will debate anybody on things that I am certain about.
Yeah.
I'd debate anyone.
Which topics?
Any topic that I was certain about.
Michael Jordan versus LeBron.
Well, Michael Jordan.
We went viral for that one. I'll set up some debates for you. But yeah, these pastors, like, will literally have a date locked in and will back out the day before. Happened multiple times.
Because you were going to have other ones on?
I was going to have a debate, like a friendly debate. I try to have a very civil debate setting.
I would love it. I would watch that.
Yeah.
I would watch any program where they had all the religions. Because, dude, all I'm trying to find is the truth, right? Isn't that what everyone wants to know?
Yeah, that's it. But the money flow is just too damning on their part. I think the way they spend these funds is very incriminating, and they're scared to go public with it. These mega churches, at least. I don't want to speak for all these churches because there's some great churches. But dude, when you start making tens of millions in donations and you see where it goes to, it's kind of disturbing. Have you looked into that, Trell?
I tend not to.
Yeah, it's really disheartening.
But my daughter got me this, so
Nice.
Mark Wahlberg says, when they said, "Are you with so and so?" He goes, "No, we go to different churches." He goes, "I'm the one with Jesus, baby."
Yeah.
So, at one point, I asked ChatGPT too, out of all the religions and all the scientific evidence that's been collected, which one's most likely to be true? It said Christianity.
Really?
I asked it again, and he was a witness. And like 6 months later, someone was in there, and I said, watch. And I asked it again, and now it doesn't.
Whoa. What did it change it to?
It says, it won't answer. I think AI is a scam.
How so?
It's number one, it's very patronizing. You ever notice that?
Like it's flip-flops its opinions, you're saying?
100%. Like, you can ask it a question, and it'll give you an answer, and then say, is this the best answer? And it'll say, well, if you want the best answer, it's right here. And you go, you can't do better than that? Well, if you really want to go scorched earth, it's this. So is that the final answer? Is that the best possible answer you can give? Well, if it's pretty close, but here's a little better of an answer. And it'll just keep doing that. It's and I've caught it to be wrong, where I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense because of this, that, and the other thing. They're like, great point. Absolutely.
Well, it's scraping information from the internet, so
That's all it is.
Yeah, it's not going to be accurate.
It's a split second researcher.
Yeah.
And I try to tell people, like, AI is just all the information that's on the internet very, very quickly. So you don't have to do it. So you leverage it, you use it as a tool, but it's not end all be all. People think it's gospel.
It's not there yet.
You know, ChatGPT says, I don't care what ChatGPT says. You might as well say the internet says it, because that's where it's getting the information from. It's not actual intelligence, it's artificial intelligence. And the way I look at it, which one's superior? Well, actual intelligence. Who made AI? Actual intelligence made AI.
Mm-hmm.
AI has never made a human being. So AI's never created life, right?
Yeah.
So actual intelligence, which is life, created AI. So right now, AI is still superior.
It's not there yet, but maybe when it hits AGI. I just filmed at this AI conference, and this guy's bringing back the woolly mammoth using AI. He already brought back some little woolly mammoth puppies.
Puppies?
Yeah, it's
Is
pretty
that what
nuts.
you call a baby elephant?
I don't know what he's doing, but he's going to turn elephants into woolly mammoths in like 4 years, by 2030, he said.
With AI telling them how to do it?
Yeah, pretty nuts. His name's Ben Lamb. He's a billionaire.
Well, I think eventually AI might evolve into a, sentient type where it
Consciousness.
really is like intelligence. Right now, it's quick aggregation of existing content.
Yeah.
So if the content that they're trained on or accessing is false, well, then their answers are false.
Yeah.
And people think it's gospel. I don't even Google anymore. Do you?
No, I use ChatGPT.
I wonder what Google's going to do.
They might be hurting, to be honest. But yeah, I use ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Cloud. I have 3 tabs pinned on my Google Chrome, and I just...
Why do you use them all?
Because each one has different answers.
Well, why don't you use Magi?
I haven't tried that one. What is that?
Magi is a dude that I had on my podcast, and he invented one. It's $20 a month. You get the latest and greatest of all of them in one.
Damn, look at you being a spokesperson for them. Magi.
Magai.
I'll try that one because I pay for each one, so that would save me some money.
Well, a lot of people do. And I've had hundreds of people blowing up my DMs going, dude, this Magi is incredible. And all he did was he built the front end. So when you pay for Magi, you literally have ChatGPT, Grok, Claude, all of them inside of it. And it's the latest and greatest of them all. When they come out with releases, they're automatically upgraded on Magi.
I'm going to definitely get that one.
So Magi is a gateway to all of them.
Yeah, it's good for coming up with interview questions. You know what I mean? For prep on guests. Because I don't have time. Since I film 50 a month, I can't read their books and watch their pods sometimes.
Well, I used AI once to ask, someone was coming, I forgot who it was, and it spit out some things. And I'm like, so you climbed Mount Everest? And he said, no, I didn't. Where'd you get that?
Yeah.
I'm like,
oops.
I ChatGPT'd you.
That happened to me once too.
Yeah, so it's not always accurate.
I was like, you were a professional basketball player? And the guy was like, no. So
what are the questions that you've researched and or had?
oh, I got some good ones. We could
Fire
go a
'em
little.
off.
You want to go rapid fire?
I want to hear what kind of research you did to see if it was accurate.
You said on Savannah Chrisley's podcast last year that you believe therapy is a female thing.
Yes.
Is that accurate?
Yes.
You don't think guys can go to therapy?
No, I mean, again, at the end of the day, if you have mental problems, you should get help. But therapy, where you just sit there and tell someone your problems, you'll never catch me in therapy.
So how do you get your problems out there? Like, how do you, I guess, de-stress from the things you're dealing with?
I don't get stressed.
You don't get stressed ever.
No.
You're running multiple 8-figure companies. You're working probably 80 hours a week. You don't get stressed ever.
I don't work 80.
How many hours?
Well, it depends on what you consider work. Is this work?
Yes,
Okay, then I guess I might work 80.
exactly.
Is checking your emails work?
Yeah. You're checking for business deals. You're checking for updates.
Well, then I guess I probably work 16 hours a day.
Exactly.
'Cause
So you're
I-
working hard. You're working
Yeah, but
long.
I don't think it's working. I call it living.
Okay, let's just say your lifestyle is nonstop. Like you're always
Yeah.
doing something.
Well,
you don't
again-
get stressed?
No. I think stress personally is a condition that people are afflicted with because of their anxiety. This goes back to their choices. I choose not to let it bother me. You can choose not to be stressed.
Let's say you get served a lawsuit. You don't think that's stressful?
Well, from a physiological perspective, I bet you if you hooked me up, I'd be stressing. I just wouldn't acknowledge it. I don't realize that it is. Maybe it's because I've been under stress for so long. It's just normal to me.
You're numb to it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't feel like I stress. I don't go, I'm stressing over things. One time I was probably 3 drinks in. We were heading to another bar, and I got in the car. I wasn't really intoxicated, but technically I was over the legal limit. And a cop pulled behind me, and my gut sank. And I'm thinking, ooh, I think that's stress. But on occasion, maybe feeling like that once in a while.
Okay.
But like, I'm not stressed about problems. I look at problems as opportunities to develop and strengthen and learn and challenge. Like, dude, I see problems as a game. What problems are there? Let's figure out how to solve those. And isn't it fun? Like, I don't look at them as problems like most people do.
Interesting.
And listen, I've been 3 months behind on child support, car payments. I wasn't stressed.
Really? What about like
what are you going to do? What does stress help?
What does it help with?
Yeah.
To me, it's a signal.
But what does it help?
It doesn't help to live in stress.
Okay.
Yeah, it actually hurts your health.
Okay, so why stress?
Yeah, I try not to. I'm just saying I feel like it's inevitable to go through it with our lifestyle.
Well, and that perspective that you have is why that's the truth for you.
Interesting. I don't know. You talk to a lot of billionaires, so do I. I feel like they will admit that they are stressed, like they have stressful lifestyles.
Well, just because they do, does that mean you have to?
No.
I don't.
Respect.
And again, I mean, I if a scientist hooked me up to a machine, they might go, that's stress. Oh, I didn't know that was stress. Like, shit, that's stress. I guess I do stress. But I don't really acknowledge stress.
Okay.
Like, I get up, I go into my office, there's a problem, there's a situation. I almost get kind of a little bit excited to deal with it, to figure it out. Now, if that's stress, then I guess I'm stressing and I just don't know it.
Yeah.
But to me, I always heard stress is like this pressure and this gloom and doom and this anxiety and all this negative pressure.
Yeah.
I don't feel it.
Well, yeah, they call it the silent killer, but they never know how to like prove it exists. That's the interesting thing with stress. They can't like do a body scan and show you're stressed, right?
Yeah, so I don't feel it, and so I don't acknowledge it. So when people say, how do you handle the stress? I'm like, I don't really have any. What would stress me? If I just got a phone call right now and said, my daughter's in the hospital, would I be worried? Yeah. Is that stress? Because I mean, is it stress? Well, then I guess I stress. Yeah. But to me, stress is like this weighted feeling of doom and impending ooh, I'm going to be in trouble or whatever.
Fair enough.
Maybe it's anxiety I'm describing. I don't know.
I've had anxiety. I don't see myself ever having it again.
Why?
With the mental point I'm at now, I know how to keep it at bay. But I used to have full-on panic attacks when I was younger.
What'd they feel like?
Terrible heart attacks. They felt like a literal heart attack, like your chest was exploding.
Do you think it's chemically going on in your brain?
No, it was all my environment and what I was doing that caused it.
Do you think your mind has anything to do with it?
100%. I manifested it. I was on Xanax and not actually dealing with the issues. I was numbing it.
So once you took control of your mind, you no longer had anxiety.
Went away.
That's my point.
Yeah.
My good man.
No, you're right.
You just made it. And more people need to understand that. Like there's people out there, dude, all I really, this is why I say I'm angelic. Because again, I mean, you can read on Reddit and internet and, this guy's a scam and that guy's a scam. There's people that I know that are called scams. I've never seen them or heard of them scamming anyone, but yet look on the internet, they're a scammer. Doesn't make them a scammer. And then I've seen people that I know are full of shit and scamming people.
Yeah.
And you don't see any news about that. They're just better at hiding it. Doesn't mean they're not scammers. When it boils down to it, what are your intentions and what are your actions on a regular basis? what I do every single day is look to help people. I'm not trying to sell you. I'm trying to help you. Now, people say, well, Brad, you sold this, this, and this, and this. I'm not saying I won't sell people. My mind, my energy is not about I need to sell you so I can pay my bills. I need to help you. Coincidentally, I will get paid by doing that. Because if you really want to be a millionaire, just solve 1 million problems for people. Charge $1 each. So at the end of the day, helping people is a better energy, if you ask me. And a lot of people ask what real, what's with the real? R is for relationships. Relationships are the most important thing when it boils down to it. If I said, this is your last day, Sean, are you going to be sitting here interviewing me? Probably not. Where would you be? What would you want to do? Because if you think about it, and most people actually think about it, they're going to say, I'm going to be with my family. I want to be with my wife and my kids for the last day. What would you do? I would just sit there and talk to them and be with them. How much does that cost? Nothing. Then why are you so worried about all this money that you need? Because at the end of the day, relationships are what matter. And coincidentally, relationships are where money comes from. So if you really want more money, start valuing more relationships. The more hands you shake, the more money you make. When we're born, we require relationships or we won't survive. When we die, we desire relationships. But in the middle, we forget how valuable they are. So R is for relationships. That is the most important thing. Money is not as important as a relationship. Then E, that's your energy. Energy could be your health. It could be your mindset. It could be your beliefs. Your energy. What is your energy? What are your intentions? Energy is critical because you attract the energy that you put out. So if you're pessimistic and you have a negative energy, people can sense that. People can feel that. So your energy is massively important. And then the A is for affluence. If you look up the definition of affluence, trust me, we all want it. And then L, I just recently changed it from lifestyle to leadership. Because you're not going anywhere by yourself, which circles back to relationships. I probably would have been a billionaire, legitimate billionaire already, had I understood what I understand now.
Really?
For sure.
Wow. So you didn't value relationships when you were younger?
I didn't value leadership. I didn't value relationships. I didn't understand energy. I wanted affluence, but I didn't understand what got it. And what gets it is relationships, energy, and leadership. If you focus on 3 key areas to be financially at least successful, because just because you're rich doesn't make you successful.
Right.
Not in my book anyway.
I agree.
So, but if you want to be financially, because most people think success is money. So if you want some money, I'll give you 3 pillars that if you focus on those and you master those, you will be rich for sure. Number 1, your mindset. Number 2, your skill set. Number 3, your habits. So if you suck, you're not probably going to do very well. If you have shitty habits, you're probably not going to do very well. If you have a negative, piss poor mindset, you're probably not going to do very well. But if you have a killer mindset, abundant mindset, you have killer skills, and you have killer habits, it is almost impossible that you will not be extremely well paid. Period. Show me an example of that where they're not extremely paid. Who gets paid the most? The best. The best basketball players get paid more. Okay. The best artists, the best salespeople, the best podcasters, the best everything usually gets paid more than the ones that aren't the best. Now, who's defining what best is? Well, again, depending on what you're doing. The best plumber might not be the richest because no one knows them. Well, the best is always beat by the best known. So marketing, that's a skill set, right?
Yeah.
Building a personal brand, that's a skill set. This show and how you put it all together, that's a skill set. I watched you do it. I knew exactly what you were doing. I'm like, that dude freaking is putting it together. And pretty soon, next thing you know, dude, everyone that's coming on my podcast, I'm going to Sean Kelly's. I'm like, some bitch just caught up like nothing. Well, dude, that's a skill set, right?
Yeah.
So depending on what you're trying to do in life, you got to get your skills right. You got to get your habits right, and you got to get your mindset right. If you get those three right, boom, dude, you're paid.
Facts. I love what you said about best known is better than best, because especially in the music industry, right? It's not the most talented artist. That's the best. It's usually the one that has the best marketing, the best team behind them with some talent.
Well, those are skills. That's why you need all three. Because if you have a really good mindset, right, and you suck, you're just going to be running positively in the wrong direction.
Right.
You're going to run around all happy about sucking. You got to get good.
Those are like the A students.
But the problem with getting good is most people don't have the right mindset in order to get good. Because if you understand abundance and possibility and optimism, then you realize, man, skills are just a matter of practice. You got to practice, drill, and rehearse. Most people won't practice, drill, and rehearse long enough because their mindset sets in and says, this ain't working. How do you know it's not working? Well, because I'm not rich yet. Okay, so you don't have patience. It's ultimately the mindset. Like you're giving up is what you're doing. And the right mindset, they don't give up. They make a decision, they move towards their goals, and they achieve them. So mindset, abundance, positivity, optimism, belief, self-image, confidence, all of that is mindset. If you have that, but you're not very good at something, you're probably not in a very ideal situation. So now get the mindset right and then go figure out what skills you need to do what you want to do. I suggest sales. I don't know anybody financially successful that isn't selling something to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're out there and you do not have any way to get paid from sales, I personally would tell you, step one, get in the position to receive commission. Now someone says, well, is that me? I don't know. Is it? Like, a bartender, they're getting tips. Is there any way to make commission? No. Dude, who's getting rich, the bartender or the guy that owns the bar? The guy that owns the bar, what's he doing? He's selling alcohol. Okay? The bartender is serving alcohol. Get in the position to receive commission. That would be skill set number one. Skill set number two would be relationship building. Finding, attracting, and nurturing relationships. Networking, people call it. Get good at building relationships. Okay? That's a skill, by the way. AI, how to leverage AI, that's a skill. And everybody better pay the fuck attention. Marketing is a skill. Well, I hire marketers. Well, again, if you want to be held hostage to a bunch of people, then don't learn it, but learn marketing. Get really good at marketing. Personal branding. Get good at personal branding. And then communication. Words matter. The words that you're using make all the difference in the world. Even in just life, the words matter. The way you talk about yourself, they matter. If you think words in your head, those are words. I didn't say anything. I didn't say audible. If you think shit about yourself, you are destroying opportunity. You're damaging your self-confidence, your self-worth, your identity at the end of the day. And you're never going to outperform your own self-image. So if you really want to make more money, man, you have to become more valuable. How do you become more valuable? Your skills.
Skill sets, yeah.
Yeah, and then the last one's your habits, because if you're really positive and you're really talented, but you do coke all day and bang hookers, you're probably going to have some issues too. So then you got to look at your habits. What do you do every day? You show me somebody with a shitty life, I'll show you somebody with shitty habits. That's a fact. It's one of those truths that people don't like, because there's going to be people listening to this that maybe are down and out right now, and they're going to blame other people. That's a victim mentality.
Yep.
You can't have that. That's a mindset issue, right? It's always mindset, skill set, habits. It's always going back to those. I talk to people all day long about things when they tell me, well, my mom, she didn't love me. Okay. First of all, maybe she did, maybe she didn't. What's that got to do with anything?
Yeah, they do blame the mother and the father.
They blame everything. That's called a victim mentality. It's poor me. It's like, dude, you got to lose the victim mentality. And you got to realize that if it's going to be, it's up to me.
Yeah.
You know, that's mindset. Go get books on mindset, study mindset, implement some of the things you learn, think, which is most people don't do. I heard someone say the other day, if everybody said what they were thinking about, it would be silent.
If everyone said what they were thinking.
Meaning nobody's thinking.
Oh, okay.
The bottom line is mindset is a big area. I would start there, because if you don't have the right mindset, you're never going to get the skills, more than likely. And if you don't get the skills, you're going to allow these habits and these influences and these things to get in the way, and you're just screwed your whole life. So I always tell people, start with the mindset, man. Go get some confidence, build your self-worth, build your self-image, change your identity, be before you become, get this set. Once that's set, then go get good at something, whatever it is you want to be, get really, really, really good at it. If you practice 10,000 hours at anything, you're probably in the top 5% of the entire world.
At least. Probably top 1%.
But I'm not doing it for 10,000. That's like 5 years, 10 years. What is that? I don't have that kind of time. That's a mindset issue. That's limited. That's scarcity. So abundance, scarcity, big difference. That's mindset. So it always goes back to one or the other. And every time someone comes up to me and says, Brad, I want to get rich, I always say, mindset, skill set, habits. Well, what skills do I need? Sales, personal branding, marketing, communication, relationships, and now AI. Just go master those. Even AI alone will get you rich.
Yeah.
But if you go all 6, dude, you're unstoppable. These are the skill sets that I possess. And dude, I'm making millions of dollars and I don't deserve it.
Well, that's a statement right there. You don't deserve it.
Hell no.
Don't you feel like you put in the work, you put in the effort?
Hell no. I get way overpaid.
Really?
Dude, you kidding me?
But you're putting in so
I dropped
much.
out of school at 16.
Yeah, but school doesn't mean you're going to make money. Come on.
Where's your bomb? You better say that again. But the point is, I am overpaid. Like, dude, I get paid 50 grand. I'm about to move it to 100 to go talk.
Wow.
For an hour on a stage. They used to tell me to shut up in school. Now they're giving me 50 grand to talk. And then I say, what do you want me to talk about? And you know what they say?
Anything.
Whatever you want. I'm like, you're going to give me $50,000 and airfare and a hotel and whatever else.
No.
Just to go talk, and I can say whatever I want. They're like, yeah, just do you. So why are they doing that? Why am I getting $50,000 to talk? That is overpaid, bro. I am not saying anything that miraculous. But what I am doing is I'm reminding people and I'm inspiring people and I'm shifting perspectives, and that is worth money. Because if I can get a sales team to look at things just a little bit differently and their revenue goes through the roof, that's why they're willing to pay it.
Right.
And what I do is I keep things simple. I'm not up there to show you how smart I am. I don't use big fancy words and try to convince you that I'm an expert. I tell people the opposite. Like, I'm no expert. This isn't rocket science. Success isn't difficult. If somebody said, Brad, I want to be successful, I'll do exactly what you tell me. I can guarantee they'll be successful.
Really? Wow.
100%.
Anyone?
Anyone.
You don't think there's like an IQ limit you need or
No.
some sort of intelligence?
Nope. Dude, it's proven. There's no rich, stupid people.
There's a lot of those.
Yeah, you don't need to be extremely smart, extremely anything. Some people say, Brad, it's easy for you to say because you're like rich and good looking. And I say, I haven't always been rich.
You got to throw in the good looking there.
Yeah. Well, that's what they want to say about me. They think it's easy for me because I'm rich and good looking, they say. Now, again, I know there's plenty of women, especially now that I'm getting older, they don't agree. So again, good looking is an opinion. That's just a subjective thing. I'm sure there's some that do, and there's some that don't. So am I? Depends on who you ask, right?
Right.
That's subjective. That's not the truth. I'm good looking. That's not the truth. The truth is it depends on who you're talking to. I could be ugly to some, So at the end, and sometimes I look in the mirror and I think I'm ugly, especially now. You're like, I'm starting to get the freaking neck, and it's like, I'm like, dang, dude, I'm looking old, but I am old. I'm looking good for my age, I believe, but we're all going to get old. That's another thing. People see these old people walking around. They're like, oh boy, that guy's old. Dude, I hope that I'm old someday.
Why?
Why? Do you not want to be?
Not right now. I want to be as young as I can right now. I want to be.
We're not talking about right now. Do you hope to be 90 years old someday?
Well, I want to live that long, yeah. Want is different.
No, dude. I want to be an old man that everybody says, wow, look how old he is. Now, do I want to have quality of life? Of course I do. Am I going to stay active? Yes, because I think when you see those old people walking like this, it's because they stopped walking. Like, you got to stay active. You got to stay moving. You got to try. And hopefully with society now and the science that we have now, I might never look older than I do right now. Ever. Well, I hope that's the case. I hope one day when you say, Brad, how old are you? 873, I think. Wow, you look great for 873. My friend just turned 1,002. Like, that would be great if modern science can allow us to live forever. But imagine if you had to live forever. Can you afford to? Because a lot of people, they can't afford to live 80 years. How are they going to afford to live 800?
That's a good point.
Well, the longer they live, the longer they learn. And eventually, I think everyone would eventually figure it out. And it's just something that I've already figured out. You apparently have figured it out. There's other people that just haven't figured it out yet. And they're going to find out the hard way or the easy way. The easy way is, come ask me. Come ask you. Go ask people how they did what they did and then do what they did. And I'll bet you end up with close or maybe even more than what they got.
Yeah.
Because if everyone did what I did, they'd have just as much or more than I have.
Really?
Sure. You don't think so?
If they did exactly what you did, no, because I think there's times where, like, what you did in the past, for example, wouldn't work now.
Like what?
Like, markets get saturated. Like, if I invest in crypto now compared to when it came out 10, 20 years ago, I'm not going to make the same returns you did.
You may not make the same returns, but isn't there a new crypto?
AI, I guess.
What I did is I took a risk.
Yeah. So I guess, yeah,
I pulled the trigger.
Yeah, the mindset I agree with. I think the industry's changed, but yeah.
Yeah, I rolled the dice. Okay, most people, they don't roll the dice, they just shake the dice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You ever just shake the dice but never roll it?
Yeah, I've played craps.
Like, pretend you're rolling dice right now. Now don't let it go. Just shake it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep shaking the dice. What are you doing?
Just shaking it.
Yeah. You're just fucking,
Fuck you.
You're just shaking it. Okay. You got to let it go. You got to roll the bastards for anything to happen. Otherwise, you're just sitting here doing this for days.
Yeah.
And pretty soon you realize, like, dude, this ain't getting me nowhere.
I had to give that up. I gave it up.
You got to freaking roll those bones.
Yeah.
And most people are afraid of the potential risk. What if I go broke? You're broke now. What if I go broke? Well, then pick up the dice again. That's another thing. I'm not necessarily afraid to go broke. Are you?
No, because I've been broke twice already.
Yeah. Well, I was broke longer than I've been rich. And let me tell you something. Wasn't that bad. Matter of fact, I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy being broke, but when I was broke, I still had fun. I still was enjoying my life. So at the end of the day, it's what you make it. So there's people out there that have no money and they're comparing themselves to someone who does, and their life is miserable because they can't catch a break and they can't get that.
Right.
When in reality, there's someone that they don't have money, but they don't have their health either. And this guy's completely healthy, and this person wishes they were this broke person. Just no health issues. They just wish they're fine with no money. They just want to get rid of this illness.
Yeah.
And then there's someone down the line that's wishing they were that person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all relative.
It's always, I just need more. I just want something I don't have. And that's where people screw themselves. Okay. The trick, I believe, is to not necessarily, you know, have what you want. It's to want what you have.
Yeah, a lot of people tie their identity to materialism in America.
They sure do.
Yeah, I used to.
I still do.
I still do a little bit, but I used to.
I do. Like these glasses.
What is that, Gucci?
Louis. But I mean, they just look good. But again, that's just another pair of cheap ass sunglasses with a fucking brand on it.
Yeah.
Like, dude, big deal. Now, do they make me look like a freaking pimp?
I think you look good in those.
Man, look at those bastards. I should have worn them the whole time.
You should have.
Yeah, like, hey, look at me. Enough about me. What do y'all think about me? But in reality, I'm still kind of like a dumbass when it comes to that, you know?
Yeah.
Golden Goose shoes, they come beat up. They're $700 beat up shoes. But at the end of the day, why do I buy them? Well, because they're cool. It shows that I'm successful. When in reality, I'm getting a little bit to the point where now it's like, I almost don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I still do have style though. In other words, like if they had a shoe that was $50 and it looked good and it felt good, maybe. It just so happens all the shit I've been buying to make myself feel like I'm successful happens to be good looking shit.
A little bougie.
Well, no, it's just, you know, it's quality.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Well, that's your brand, you know, you're built on quality, so it makes sense.
Well, and not only that, it's like, you know, I'd rather have one pair of quality shoes than 5 pair of shitty shoes.
Right.
So I always tell people, like, you know, it doesn't need to be expensive. It just needs to be quality.
Yeah.
And, you know, when it comes to Louis and some of these brands that are, it's basically the same leather. It's the same everything. You're buying the brand. And why are you really buying that? So everyone else will think I'm cool.
Yeah.
I don't do that. I don't do it so you think I'm cool. I do it because I think I'm cool. You know what I mean?
There's a difference.
I think so.
Yeah. You don't care about other people's opinions.
Correct. So like, you know, some people think, you know, this watch is too small. Some people like those big ass watches. Yeah. Like, dude, that's a badass
What
watch.
is that, a Rollie?
That's a Meteorite Daytona.
Nice.
So again, to me, it's like, dude, that's the watch. Now, if that was a Timex, that's still the watch, bro. Look at it.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's freaking awesome. So to me, it's like, it's not because it's a Rolex that I want it, so you think it's cool. It just happens to be a Rolex that I think's cool. I wish all the money I've blown on name brand stupid shit, especially cars. I wish a Hyundai looked like my Ferrari. I wish a freaking Toyota drove like my Rolls Royce. Because I'd have a Toyota and a Hyundai. But they don't.
Makes sense.
So I got to go get the expensive shit. So that's why I'm still stuck in that stupidity. But when it really boils down to it, Sean, none of that shit matters. It really doesn't. Because if I was going to die tomorrow, I don't want to see my cars one more time. I want to see my kids one more time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People matter. And at the end of the day, when you really take a look at it, most people are struggling for all this money and material things, only to realize they ignored their entire, what was really important the whole time to get the shit that isn't important.
Yep. I almost lost my marriage over it, chasing materialism. 7 watches, nice cars, mansion, and almost lost her, you know? Because I was so busy chasing that stuff.
Well, there'd have been another one.
Would have been, but it would never be the same. Because I met her when I was broke, bro. You can't replicate that ever.
Yes, you can.
No.
Dude, listen, my dad used to tell me, if you miss the 8:30, don't worry, the 8:45 will be around any minute.
You can't recreate it. I disagree.
Well,
think about it.
We will disagree. Is that your first one?
Yeah, first and only. I've only been with one girl my whole life.
Then maybe you're very lucky.
I don't believe in luck, but yeah, some could call it that.
Well, again, or you're very grateful for her. See, gratitude matters. And I'm not saying that you guys don't have that. That'd be awesome. But what I know is every time I get rid of one, I get a better one.
Because you have that abundance attraction.
Well, because the next one's better.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna get the next one and have it. I'm not gonna go backwards.
You're attracting high quality women, is what I'm saying. Like, most guys aren't operating like that.
I believe that if you lost your girl, you'd still be with another one, and you would love her more than you did the last one.
Really?
Of course.
Wow. That is crazy to me. I don't know. I don't think so, dude.
Of course, dude.
No shot.
And for her too.
We're in Vegas.
And for her too.
Yeah.
That's what sucks is we don't want to think about our women will be happy without us. Yeah, they probably would be eventually. Now, again, to me, I'm pretty rare. I think I'm a frickin' catch. Don't cheat. I don't frickin' play games. Like, I might be, trust me, I've got my problems. But as far as like what most guys are doing out there.
Yeah, someone with your status, that's super rare.
And dude, she has no worries about infidelity. Like, I don't care who it is. There's no cheating. Why? Because I don't believe it's cheating on her. I believe it's cheating on me.
Wow.
And so at the end of the day, no one's going to get me to cheat on myself. I like myself. I do not hate myself. Cheating is destroying self-confidence. It's destroying self-worth. It's contradictory to my belief system now. Now, again, hasn't always been that way. But to me, that's a rare guy to find.
Super rare.
And money, okay? And decent in shape. And, blessed in other areas. Not over blessed, but I'm fine. So again, I'm a good catch, as you would say. But if her and I ended up getting a divorce, or she's gonna find some other dude that's great, right? Now again, according to me, never as good as me, but that's bullshit. Especially when they're like, no one's gonna treat you like I treated you. Bullshit. The next 10 of them will. If you'd have lost the relationship, trust me, you would have found another one, and you probably would agree that the next one's better. Like, show me someone who says, yeah, the one I'm with ain't that great. My last one was better. Because then I'd ask, why are you with the one you're with?
Right. Well,
because I'd be single first.
Yeah.
Like, if I've never found a better one, I would never have gotten with another one.
Well, people go for rebounds and stuff.
Dude, I ain't talking about banging chicks. I might, break up with a 10 and bang at 8, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to marry her.
Right.
I'm looking for another 10 or better, and better fit, better personality. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I've never personally went backwards.
Yeah.
And I don't think you would have either. I think you would have, but you wouldn't have.
Yeah. Well, we got to wrap up, man. This has been a blast. Good luck in the poker tournament this Saturday. Anything else you want to close off with?
No.
Dropping bombs, guys. Check out his pod. Thanks for watching.
Peace.
Wherever you guys are watching this show, I would truly appreciate it if you follow or subscribe. It helps a lot with the algorithm. It helps us get bigger and better guests, and it helps us grow the team. Truly means a lot. Thank you guys for supporting, and here's the episode.